Good evening and welcome to the City of Helena City Commission meeting, September 20th, 2021, 6 p.m. Welcome and thank you for participating in the City of Helena City Commission meeting. We are pleased to be able to provide this alternative meeting format in the city's effort to broaden public participation. Please be patient as we may experience technical difficulties during the meeting. Good evening and welcome to the City of Helena City Commission meeting. That's the technical difficulties we're talking about. Should I continue? We welcome your public commentary during the meeting. Please read the following tips and guidelines for the app usage and your participation. This meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
City Attorney Joden.
Here.
City Manager Willow Shulk. Here. Commissioner Halliday.
Commissioner Halliday is supposed to be here.
Give me just a moment. I apologize. Commissioner Halliday was trapped in the attendees. Commissioner Halliday.
Here.
Commissioner Dean.
Here.
Commissioner Logan.
Here.
For the record, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Laughlin is excused this evening.
That's correct.
Mayor Collins.
Here. Would you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Justice for all. Minutes. Our regular City Commission meeting July 26, 2021 were received. Do we have any corrections to make? Commissioners? If not, the minutes will stand as submitted. Presentation, confirmation of Alex Nimick. Chief Hagan.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission.
Good evening.
Under Montana law, the city and city ordinances, police officers are hired under a one-year probationary period. If the officer successfully completes that year, under state law, they must have a hearing for appointment before the City Commission. I'm here tonight to present Officer Alex Nimick for confirmation as a police officer. Alex was born in Butte and spent the majority of his childhood in Three Forks before his family moved to Winnemucca, Nevada. He graduated from Lowry High School in Winnemucca and returned to Montana to attend college. He graduated from Montana State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Criminology and served as a probation officer in both Bozeman and Helena. Alex became a Helena police officer on August 31st, 2020. Alex is married to his wife, Kendall, and they have a 3-year-old son, Owen, and they're expecting their second child early in October. Mayor and Commissioners, when you feel it's appropriate, a motion and vote is needed. If that vote is for approval, I would ask that you give Alex time to introduce his guest and say a few words.
Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor, I can make a motion.
Please go ahead.
I will move to approve confirmation of Officer Alex Nimick.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Halliday.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Officer Nimick, please.
Thank you all. Tonight I have with me my wife Kendall and my son Owen. First and foremost, I want to thank my wife for this process the last year. through the academy and then through FTO. Wasn't an easy schedule, especially with a 3-year-old at home and us welcoming our second child. Thank you. I also want to thank my FTOs through this entire process, Officer Mark Baker, Sergeant Brian Haven that's here tonight, as well as Officer Dakota Becker. What I learned from the 3 of those gentlemen is going to take me pretty far in this profession. I also like to thank Chief Hagan. Thank you for taking this opportunity with me. I'm eternally grateful for that. Thank you. The rest of the individuals that I do work with, each and every day I learn so much, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Again, the city commissioners, I thank you guys as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Nimick.
Mayor, with your permission, if I could have a few more minutes of the commission's time.
Please.
As part of our tradition, I would like to present Alex with a Helena Police Department challenge coin. And my wife, Barb, would like to present Alex and his wife, Kendall, with a book. Traditionally, the chief has presented newly confirmed officers of the Helena Police Department a challenge coin. The coins were purchased by funds donated by department supervisors. On one side is a department shoulder patch. On the other side is an image of our badge. But the most important part are the words that surround the badge: honor, innovation, devotion, integrity, and professionalism. They are not only words, but a culture we have worked to establish in the department. The purpose of the challenge coin is to instill pride and a sense of unity and a connection with members of the police department. It helps to remind officers they are not alone in serving and protecting the citizens of Helena. Alex, keep this coin as a reminder of the importance each officer is in maintaining the respect and support of the community we serve. And finally, Mayor, with your permission, I would like to invite my wife, Barb, up to say a few words and present Alex and Kendall with a book.
Please.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. We wanted to find a way to provide support for the new officers' families and to remind them that they are not alone. Being a police family can be challenging, and our lives may seem strange to outsiders. The officers make sacrifices to keep the city safe, and the families make sacrifices in support of our loved ones. Steve and I are providing the book, I Love a Cop, to Alex and Kendall. We have found this book to be a helpful guide to introduce topics that the officers and their loved ones may not have yet considered. We want Alex and Kendall to know we support them and we welcome them to the Helena PD family.
And I did say that was the final thing, Mayor, but I have one more.
There's never a final one.
There's never a final with me. As you know, a challenge coin, I think you know the history of a challenge coin. And in the past, I presented the former mayor with a book. He was a son-in-law, or his son-in-law was a police officer. I did not want you to feel left out, so I would like to present you with a Helena Police Department challenge coin.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
And that's all I have tonight, Mayor, or for now.
Thank you, Chief. Mrs. Hagan, and congratulations again to Officer Nimick. I think he deserves a round of applause. All right. Recognition of Fire Chief Ken Woods, over 21 years of service to the city of Helena, by presenting him with a plaque that honors his work and retirement from fire service. Manager Holshop. And Mayor Collins, I guess. Come on over.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for taking this opportunity to recognize Chief Wood. I know that you also have an additional proclamation for Chief Wood, and I understand that his family is here as well. But this is our opportunity as a community and also as a team to recognize Chief Wood for all the work he has done in Helena. And just as a quick summary of his time, Ken and his wife Karen are Helena natives. They raised their 2 sons in Helena, and Ken, has served the city of Helena for over 21 years. Thank you, Ken, for all your service to our community, and congratulations on your retirement.
Okay, City of Helena proclamation. Whereas Fire Chief Ken Woods is retiring after 21 years of a successful career in municipal service. And whereas his service began in February of 2000. From the start, Chief Wood exemplified what good nature, compassion can mean in public service. And whereas the same good nature translated to his leadership style, which earned him a promotion to assistant chief in 2013. And whereas his duty to his department and the city called for it, he stepped up to serve as chief in 2019. And whereas his devotion to his department and his crew have earned him the respect of those he commands and those who he serves. And whereas with a warm smile and a kind heart, always at the ready, Chief Wood is a comfort to those who call upon the chief and his crew in the darkest of time. And whereas Chief Wood will be missed by his colleagues throughout the city and within the community for leading his department with integrity and putting service to others above all else. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Wilmot Collins, Mayor of the City of Helena, Montana, declares September 30th, 2021, Fire Chief Ken Wood Day. In gratitude for his years of service to the community, this commission and Helena residents, the City of Helena is grateful for your leadership and wish him the best for whatever the future holds for him and his family. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Helena, Montana to be affixed this 20th day of September 2021. Wilmot Collins, Mayor, Clerk of the Commission, Denny Claiborne. Chief. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we also have an envelope here, a card, and we also have a flag presented to Chief Ken Wood in appreciation for your many years of loyal service to the City of Helena Fire Department and the residents of Helena. Congratulations. And I have to put the microphone down for this one. And Chief Wood, yeah. Congratulations again. And if you want to say a few words, sure, you have to, here's the microphone.
Well, it's been an absolute honor to serve the city of Helena, the public, the community that I grew up in, and my wife, and raised my family in. This wasn't my plan. My plan was to be a firefighter and retire. And I was asked once, did I want to be fire chief? And no, I didn't. Not much of my life has really been planned. I've just done my best and pushed forward and looked for opportunities. And when the opportunity came up for assistant chief, I asked myself, who did I want to lead the Helena Fire Department? And I asked over and over and over again, and it kept coming back to me. I wanted to take care of the firefighters, the department, and the community that I grew up in, that I loved, has been everything to me. And it's been the absolute best decision I've ever made in my career, because I have truly enjoyed working for the city of Helena, taking care of the community, friends, family that I grew up with, and all those that travel through. And it's been an honor to serve and work under your leadership, Mayor. Your support for the fire department has been steadfast and consistent from day one that you became mayor. And so thank you very much for your dedication to public safety. And it's been an honor to work under your leadership, City Manager Rachel Harlowshock. Your support personally for the leadership team and for public safety has been evident from the very beginning, first conversation. And I just really appreciate what you're doing and what you've done. And so thank you.
Now I know he deserves a loud round of applause. Thank you again, Chief. Board appointments. Airport Authority Commission. I'm recommending the following board appointment. Appointment of William Birkeland to a first term on the Helena Airport Authority Commission as the Joint City-County Representative. Term will begin upon appointment and expires on September 1st, 2024. I will give 1 minute for public comments. Do you have anyone from the public wishes to address this topic? Any comments from the commission? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir. You are muted.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd entertain I'd put forward a motion for the appointment of William Birkeland to a first term on the Helena Airport Authority Commission as the Joint City-County Representative. Term will begin upon appointment and expire on September 1, 2024.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk?
aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Consent agenda, Manager Hollishaw.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. I'd ask that you entertain a motion for 2 items on the consent agenda. The first is for the claims and the second is an award for a bid. The claims, Mayor, I recommend you entertain a motion on consent to pay claims from August 18th, 20th, 24th, 27th, and September 3rd of 2021 in the amount of $2,077,241.40. Also, I recommend as part of that motion, the consent for entering into a contract for the Police Department Patrol Area Renovation, project number CF 22-19-2 DC construction in the amount of $134,000. It is the only bid received, and it is the fair bid as has been outlined in the memorandum offered to the commission. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion on claims A? Any public comments? Madam Clerk?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have no written public comment and no hands raised online. It appears no one in chambers is here to make public comment on this item.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I would move to accept items A, claims, and B, City of Helena Police Patrol Area Renovation Project number CF 22-19 to DC Construction in the amount of $134,000 that are both in the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Halliday,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Okay. Bid award. A, City of Helena project number 19 to 38, groundwater well project. Madam Hollishaw.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is a recommended consideration of awarding a bid to O'Keefe Drilling Company Incorporated in the amount of $435,500. I do believe that Director Leland is online. And this project results in the City of Helena's groundwater reservation well perfection, which is expected to expire by December 31 of 2025. If we do not complete this work, we will ultimately lose those reserves and want to make sure that that work is done in time.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm wondering first, I wonder maybe if the city manager or Director Leland can kind of explain why this project is important. And then two, what the timeline for completion is on it.
Mr. Leland, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioner. Well, I guess it's the importance of this project came to fruition this year because of the drought. This is another option to be able to use fairly inexpensive water to be able to supplement our capacity and our water supply. So we can use the groundwater and pump it directly into our system. We will have to chlorinate it, but we will not have to treat it. It won't have to go to our treatment plant. So it's less expensive and only have to use pumping costs, electricity to supply it to the system. Then if we lose one of our treatment or both of our treatment plants, we will still be able to supply water to the City of Helena. So it's just belt and suspenders to be able to supply us with another low cost alternative for water. And so we are looking at just drilling exploration wells. These are just smaller wells that we are going to try and find the best part of the aquifer. It is science that we're looking at, but it's still variable. And so we need these smaller wells, and this is just for 3 wells to go out there and try and find a portion of the aquifer that we can get some very good production wells out of that aquifer and then use it in the system. Our goal is to have everything complete by 2023 or 2024, and then on the outside 2025 if we want to try and get more wells depending on what kind of supply we're looking at. If we get 350 gallons a minute, that's a pretty good well. So we'll have several wells we'll have to punch to take care of the total water rights, but we're shooting for 2024 if we can.
Thank you. Do you have any public comments? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have no hands raised online. I have no written public comment. It appears that no one is in chambers tonight to make comment on this matter.
Okay. So I'll entertain, are we moving forward? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to award bid to O'Keefe Drilling Company, Inc. for the City of Helena project number 19-38 groundwater wells project for 8-inch well option of $416,550 plus additional established non-bid costs of $18,950 This results in a contract bid award amount of $435,500.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Halliday.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Communications proposals from the commission. What says you? Well, I have a few things I want to say. I know community leaders received an email over the weekend talking about doing a mask campaign for the community. And I think that's a good idea. I know the Delta variant is not slowing down. It's going forward, and I think we need to put that forward. And I'm going to recommend to the commission that whatever ARPA funding we can find to put up our mask campaign and or join the county in putting out this mask campaign, I think we should. If you have any comments or questions for that, the floor is yours.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I would agree that I think a public relations campaign is a good idea. I think that educating folks on the efficacy of the vaccine is important. I think that should be a big piece of this. Obviously, we're seeing the hospital is at capacity and moving to crisis care standards. There's a freezer truck in the parking lot, which is a pretty sobering change in circumstance. And so I would be in favor of, really making sure that we're doing our part to help promote public education as to how we, best address the pandemic. It sounded like Montana Health Co-op was also interested in supporting something like that. I know in Butte, Silver County is obviously one entity, but Town Pump was a kind of corporate sponsor that partnered with their city county government as well in promoting a vaccination and public health campaign. And so I think that there's a good model there that's been very effective in Butte Silver Bow. So I'd be very much in favor of us doing what we can with our partners to, address things as best we can.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments or questions from the commission?
No, Mr. Mayor, I would support that. I think we want to emphasize that mask usage has a significant impact on transmitting, if you have it, to someone else, and how that personal responsibility can go such a long way in cutting back what's has been for a while now, scary increasing numbers in our community.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any others? Okay, the second thing I want to say here is our deputy clerk had a bouncing baby boy, 7 pounds, 10 ounces, on the 18th of this month at 9:47 a.m. The baby's name is Finn Elliott Reinhardt. So please give her a holler, and congratulations to Stephanie. Report of the city attorney.
Mayor, Commissioners, nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. Report of the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to, again, thank our partners in the community and rural fire, the Highway Patrol, the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation, and Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's team for all of their support in the response to Nob Hill on September 11th. I know that neighborhood below Nob Hill was very appreciative of the fast and swift response of our Department of Natural Resources team, friends, and partners, along with our rural fire team members from Montana City. It's a good example of the need for fire response services in our areas where there has a greater distance from our station. So I really wanted to make sure and underscore that hard work, and my thanks also, of course, to our own police and fire teams for their swift response and in helping evacuate our citizens. Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Communications from Helena Citizens Council. Ryan Schwarhart. Short. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, if Mr. Schwackart's in the attendees, if he could please raise his hand so that I could give him his mic.
I don't think so. Do we have any representative from Helena Citizens Council? Okay. Regular items. Consider approval of the first passage of an ordinance creating the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board by amending Section 2-6-3, existing Board of Helena City Code, and setting a public hearing on October 18th, 2021. Manager Hollishaw, Director Hagen.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. This item establishes in ordinance the Housing Trust Fund, and it also outlines who will be the participants in this fund. It is an ordinance, so it requires public hearing, and it also requires notice. By creating this fund advisory group, the commission will have a team of citizens and members of the community who can provide thoughtful advice on how to address and spend those dollars in the most effective way to address the housing gap within the city of Helena. I know that Director Haugen is on the line, as is Cara Snyder, who have spent both.
Did
Mayor, I'm not sure if you can hear us, but I don't think we can't hear the chambers on Zoom.
mm, mm,
Hi, this is Kara, the housing coordinator. My Zoom cut out there for a minute. Is this my opportunity here to present?
mm.
Mr. Mayor, can you do a mic check for me?
Check, check.
Okay, we're back.
We can hear you on Zoom now.
You have the floor, Director Hagen.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, if with your permission, I'd like to turn this over to Kara Snyder, our housing coordinator. She will present the item and give a little update on what we've done since they met with the commission during the admin meeting.
Thank you. Ms. Snyder, you have the floor.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. So we're hoping tonight that the commission can consider whether to pass an ordinance creating an advisory board for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The Community Development Department staff is proposing the creation of an advisory board that will assist with reviewing project applications for use of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. This board will provide recommendations concerning the eligibility of applications, as well as give funding recommendations to the City Commission. The board is proposed to be comprised of 7 diverse community members with various backgrounds and will serve 3-year terms on a voluntary basis. The proposed makeup of the board is as follows: 1 community member with direct experience in housing insecurity, 1 citizen of Helena at large, 1 member of the nonprofit housing sector, 1 member of the real estate sector, and 1 member with a background in engineering or architecture, and 2 members from the field of banking. Board members will be nominated by the mayor and confirmed by the commission. A legal review has been completed and an ordinance drafted for the commission meeting, so that should be in your packet. The advantage of this action, there are several advantages to passing an ordinance creating this advisory board. The first is that it will give the application process a much more in-depth analysis, as board members will be bringing different experiences and skill sets to the table than what is currently available just within our staff here. Additionally, it will alleviate the Community Development Department for being solely responsible for reviewing project applications and giving funding recommendations to the commission. Finally, this group will have a broader understanding of housing needs within the community during the different application timelines, which will ensure these funds from the trust are utilized for maximum impact. There are no foreseeable energy-related impacts from this decision. And as far as any disadvantages that we could identify, the only one in creating this group would be the amount of time needed to find members and organize meetings. However, the staff time committed at the beginning of this process will ensure that less staff time is required in the long run. Our recommended motion is to move to approve first passage of an ordinance creating the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board by amending section 2-6-3 existing boards of Helena City Code and setting a public hearing for October 18th, 2021. If you guys have, Mayor, Commissioners, if anyone has any questions, I am on, and as is Director Haugen.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Mayor,
Please, go ahead.
perhaps an idea of how the membership of the advisory board will be recruited or interest will be, how they'll find interest in that.
Dr. Hagen or Ms. Snyder?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, this is Sharon Huggan, Community Development Director. I will attempt to respond to Mr. Logan. As we do with many boards, we will work with the city clerk's office to do our normal routes of advertising. In addition to that, we have a group, the Housing Task Force, so we will directly email to them. We also have other lists of housing providers. We will email the opportunity directly to them, as also with the Helena Association of Realtors. We do have some lists of some banking presidents and financial institutions. And in addition, also, we will work with the HCCC. In fact, we're talking to the HCC tomorrow night. And one of our pitches will be if we create the board to have them pay attention to this process and assist us in recruiting them. We also will have a presence on Facebook and any of the other social media the city utilizes. I hope that answered your question, Commissioner Logan.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any other comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I have 2 questions.
Please go ahead.
My first question is, and I'll ask them just both at once, and you can answer in whatever order, whoever would like to take it. I'm curious. I know that we are looking at sometime in the future some consistency in bylaws for advisory advisory committees to the commission. And I'm wondering if that bylaws development, if this advisory committee will fall under that. And then my second question is, and this is, I don't know if Rachel or Thomas would normally take this one, but I'm wondering how we handle conflicts of interest for applicants. Obviously, you know, all of this is small community and small group of people who work in a lot of these spaces. And I don't know how that's normally handled on the TIF boards, and if that would be handled similarly. But that is my other question as to how you address the conflict of interest process. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Hagen, you want to take a stab at any one of them?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to refer those to either the city attorney or the manager. We have not been directly involved in the drafting of the general committee bylaws, and the city attorney is one who will provide guidance to us on conflicts of interest too.
Thank you. Mr. Jordan or Manager Holshaw?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. The clerk of the commission, city attorney, and myself have all been working together, not only in creating the basic bylaws that all commission created advisory boards would follow, which City Attorney Joden has drafted up, but also to bolster that with an underscoring in the city ordinances so that there is clarity on the expectations within each of the boards themselves and the roles within. Now, specifically for conflict of interest, of course, anyone who is a board member would have to disclose their conflicts of interest, but also the opportunity for being recusing themselves during decision making if in fact there is one and someone is appointed to a board. I'll also defer to City Attorney Jordan if he has anything else he would like to add.
Attorney Jordan?
Nothing further, Mayor Collins, commissioners.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Do we have any public comments? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have no hands raised online. It appears there are no public comments on this particular item. No one in chambers would like to make comment on this item.
Thank you. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve first passage of an ordinance creating the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board by amending sections 263 existing boards of Helena City Code and setting a public hearing on October 18th, 2021.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final comments from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to thank Kara and Director Haugen for all of their work on this. I know that it's been a big lift, so appreciate their work.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Halliday.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Mr. Mayor, if I might. The HCC representative, Ryan Schwackert, has his hand raised. He feels.
Okay,
if
we'll
you-
call him. We'll call on him later.
Thank you.
All right, consider a resolution expanding the boundaries of the Street Maintenance and Improvement District Number 1 for fiscal year 2022. Manager Hollishaw and Director Knopke.
Thank you, Mayor. This item ratifies the Street Maintenance and Improvement District Number 1 for fiscal year 2022. As you may recall, Director Haugen had brought forward the revision to the city's boundaries, which included the annexations since 2019. The adoption of this resolution ensures conformance with those annexations and back to 2019 and brings forward the street maintenance and improvement district assessments for the fiscal year 2022. I'll also turn it over to Director Kanopke if you would like to add anything further.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, and City Manager. I don't have anything to add, but I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the commission? Any public comments? Madam Clerk?
Mayor and Commissioner, the only hand raised I have at this time is Ryan Schwackert. I have no written public comment on this item. No one in chambers appears to be here to make public comment.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
move to approve a resolution expanding the boundaries of the Street Maintenance and Improvement District Number 1 for fiscal year 2022.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Do we have any final comments from the commission? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Halliday.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
At this time, we will have the representative of Helena Citizens Council. You have the floor, sir.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about before. I was trying to raise my hand, but some technical difficulties delayed my response.
I hear you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, Madam City Manager, Commissioners, and City staff. My name is Ryan Schwackert. I'm the 5th District Rep for Helena Citizens Council. And just to kind of keep you guys up to date, last month, graciously, Jacob Garcine, the PIO for the City of Helena, attended our monthly meeting. We got some really great information from him on how we can keep funneling some citizens council information directly through a few different channels with the city. And this upcoming month, we are meeting next Wednesday. We're also graciously accepting the Helena Affordable Housing Director and a few other folks from Helena Affordable Housing at our meeting. And we'll also have a follow-up with Diana Hammer, who's leading some of our public engagement efforts. At this time, I just wanted to thank everybody from city government, Mr. Mayor, Madam City Manager, council members, and other staff for the opportunity to keep you guys in the loop on what we are working on.
Are you done, sir?
That would be all for now, Mr. Mayor.
Any comments or questions for Mr. Schwackert? Thank you, sir. We appreciate all you do for the community. Okay. Public hearings. Consider final passage of an ordinance amending Title 5, Chapter 7 of the Helena City Code by changing certain definition found in 5-7-11. Manager Hollishaw.
Thank you, Mayor. I will turn it over to City Attorney Joden to share the passage of this ordinance and its intention and clarifying information. Thank you.
Attorney Jordan.
Thanks, Mayor and Commissioners. This is the final passage in the public hearing for this, what I believe is a brief ordinance fix to city code. As we've previously discussed, this is a definition change to existing decibel levels to match some old zoning districts, current existing districts, and new districts, so that within the noise ordinance itself, so that those unlisted zoning districts are regulated by the more appropriate residential or commercial decibel levels rather than the catch-all industrial. So current city code says if it's not specified as residential or commercial specifically, it falls under industrial decibel level limits. And several of our zoning districts are not listed, including the downtown zoning district. This issue was brought to my attention by former Commissioner Paul Cartwright, who noted the gap and was concerned that industrial decibel levels would be applicable to downtown and the transition district next to downtown. So we bring this quick amendment to you. And I understand there may be some miscommunication out in the community that this is a result of complaints brought by citizens against Lewis and Clark Brewery. It is not. I will screen share a zoning map of the area where Lewis and Clark Brewery is on the corner of Argyle and Montana. They are in a commercial light manufacturing district that is not proposed to change. That is not one of the districts that was unlisted. They will continue to fall under the industrial decibel levels. So just wanted to point that miscommunication out to the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Do we have any comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question.
Please go ahead.
And I think Mr. Jordan clarified this, but I just want to make sure we're crystal clear. So it's my understanding that there really is no appreciable impact to what the status quo is in practice right now, but we are updating code to reflect what we're currently experiencing right now. Is that accurate?
That's correct. There are no substantive changes. The downtown zoning district used to be the B3 district, and that was covered under this code. But when we adopted a new downtown district, as former Commissioner Cartwright pointed out, was not included and thus would be industrial. As we got into the drafting of it, we noticed that there were several other districts like OSR, the relatively new residential urban district, were also not included. And so since we're updating the definition, we include those as well. From a practical purpose, if we had gotten a noise complaint, if we had gotten one and we had not, regarding downtown, since the downtown was adopted, the previous decibel level was commercial.
Thank you.
Do you have any other comments or questions from the commission? Do you have any public comments? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I do have one written public comment and a couple of hands raised at this time. I'll read the written comment first, if I might.
Please go ahead.
From Joe and Aaron, no last name listed. So why did many of us see the noise ordinance in the Helena IR about complaints against the brewery? The first hand raised I have is Sonda Galb.
Go ahead. Ms. Galb.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to suggest that we look at the 55 decibel level because I recently did a whole bunch of noise permits to do these town hall meetings that I'm doing. And so I was really concerned about that decibel level. So I actually purchased an app for that. I'd strongly encourage you guys to look at that app because right now, reading that, just talking to you right now, I am at 55 decibels in my house, in my living room. So it's really kind of interesting about those decibel levels and knowing that it was a 1972 ordinance and the way they just had a needle for that to do those kind of ordinances. I think we need to look at our technology and maybe actually look into those numbers per se, not regarding the districts, but just would like to challenge you to do that. Thank you for your time and have a great night.
Thank you. Any others? Please come forward.
Hi, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, Max Pigman from Lewis and Clark Brewing. Just want to say thanks for that clarification. There certainly was a lot of anxiety when the picture was in the newspaper with the caption underneath that said leveled against, which I understand now to be just a mistake. I'm sure that's why a lot of people got excited, and that's certainly why I'm here to make sure that we understand the policy correctly. And so from what I understand, nothing's going to change. We're still going to be able to get noise permits, still do all the things that we used to be able to do. So thanks for that clarification. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments from the commission? Public comments.
Mr. Mayor, I do have one other hand raised. Kev Ham.
Go ahead, Kev.
Mayor and Commissioners, I just wanted to thank Thomas for clarifying that as well, because I was trying to find the zoning map, the current zoning map, and it's not available on the website. So that clarification made all the difference in the world. So thank you very much.
You bet. Any other comments from the public, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have no other hands raised.
Please come forward.
Maren Weber, Montana Auto and Fab, just a block from the brewery. And thank you again for clarifying the industrial noise zone, as auto and fab can be not commercially okay. I do hope that if there's any change to that in the future, you guys are very clear with it so that industry can continue and be adjusted. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have no other hands raised. I have no written public comment online.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, if I may, before you start the motion, I would like to share an email that I sent to the Independent Record today, and to clarify and ensure that the dialogue that has been created in the community was not something that was created by the team. It was a conjecture created as a result of viewing emails and dialogue that was continued last Friday, even though it has been corrected quite frequently in these public meetings. I want to assure that the community, that the city isn't trying to sneak something in or harm our businesses. It plainly was incorrect, and it was not in any way beneficial to not only community building, but supporting our city businesses. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Manager Hollishaw. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve final passage of an ordinance amending Title V, Chapter 7 of the Helena City Code by changing certain definitions found in 5711.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final comments from the commission? I'm going blank.
Would you like me to take?
Please
roll?
go ahead, take the roll.
Commissioner Halliday,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Consider acceptance of the Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Assistant Grant. Manager Hollishaw, Chief of Police Steve Hagan.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll turn it over to Chief Hagan, who we must provide this public hearing on this item as required to receive these dollars. Chief Hagan.
You have the floor, sir.
Again, good evening, Mayor and Commission.
Good evening.
The Helena Police Department has received funding from the the Federal Bureau of Justice Administration, BJA grant, for the past 20 years. The Helena Police Department is proposing to use this award to supplement a full-time detective's position that is in the Lewis and Clark County Attorney's Office. The detective serves as the liaison between the Police Department, County Attorney's Office, and the City Prosecutor's Office. This role allows them to coordinate information and developments from both law enforcement and the prosecutors on case investigations. The detective actively works with prosecution to prepare for trials and attends trials as a law enforcement expert. The grant requires that the City of Helena and the Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office jointly submit the application. The allocation is set by the Bureau of Justice Administration for both the City of Helena and the Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office. And this year it's for a total of $41,421. Of that amount, the Helena Police Department will receive $29,400, and the Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office will receive $12,021. As the city manager mentioned, this public hearing is required under the grant. It's just one step in the grant award process. And finally, I'm recommending that the commission accept the Bureau of Justice Administration Edward Burns Memorial Justice Assistance Grant funding in the amount of $29,400.
Thank you, Chief. Comments or questions from the commission? Public comments? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have no hands raised online, no written public comment. No one in chambers appears to be here to make comment on this item.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I would move to accept the Edward Burns Memorial Justice Assistance Grant.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any final comments from the commission? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Halliday,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. At this time, is there anyone from the public wishes to address the commission? Madam Clerk, do we have any raised hands?
Mr. Mayor, I have no raised hands at this time and no written public comment from this particular item. During the little technical snafu from earlier, there was one comment received from Sonda Gaub. Is there a motion for the mask campaign?
Do we have any other public comments?
At this time, I have no others, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any final discussions from the commission? At this time, this meeting is adjourned.